The crowd at the tomb of the unknown soldier was silent, the kind of silence that felt holy. The guard marched with flawless precision. 21 steps. Pause. Turn. Every sound, every click of his heels felt like part of history. Then it happened. An elderly veteran, barely able to stand, slipped from the crowd. His cane trembled. His knees buckled. He collapsed forward with a soft, broken gasp. Before anyone else could move, the tomb guard broke formation, something almost unheard of, and sprinted toward the old man. Gasps erupted. For a moment, it was beautiful. A soldier in immaculate uniform kneeling beside a man who once wore one himself. "Sir, don't move," the guard said softly. "You're safe. I've got you." But the beauty didn't last. Two military police officers rushed in, faces stern, jaws tight. "Soldier," one barked, "you abandoned your post." The guard looked up, stunned. "Sir," the veteran collapsed. He needed help. "That is not your call," the officer snapped. "You're under arrest. Stand and place your hands behind your back." The crowd exploded in outrage. "He was helping him. Are you serious? That's a hero, not a criminal." But the MPs didn't pause. Cold metal cuffs snapped around the guard's wrists. The old veteran, now conscious and terrified, tried to speak. "It's not his fault. He was helping me. Please, don't do this." They didn't listen. The tomb guard, still calm, still dignified, looked at the crowd and said quietly, "Please don't blame them. They're just following orders." He was led away, dragged from the place he had sworn to protect, arrested for an act of humanity. And just when the situation couldn't get more shocking, the doors to the administrative building swung open. A four-star general, medals blazing, eyes burning with fury, marched toward the officers. His voice thundered across the courtyard. "Who put handcuffs on my guard?" The courtyard went dead silent. The MPs froze, their hands still gripping the arms of the tomb guard. Tourists stepped back instinctively, as if the general's presence pushed the air itself aside. His voice thundered again. "I asked a question. Who put my guard in cuffs?" The senior MP swallowed hard. "Sir, the soldier abandoned his post. Protocol required." "Protocol?" he snapped. "You're quoting protocol to me? A veteran collapsed and this guard rendered aid, as any honorable soldier would." The MP stiffened. "He violated the sacred rules of—" The general stepped so close, their noses were almost touching. "Don't you dare lecture me about sacred rules. I helped write them." Gasps rippled through the crowd. The tomb guard remained silent, eyes forward, still trying to maintain composure even with his wrists bound. The general turned to him. "Soldier, were you ordered to hold your position?" "Yes, sir." "And did you leave your post without permission?" "Yes, sir." "And why?" The guard lifted his chin. "Sir, because a man who once defended this country fell. I judged his life to be more important than the perfection of my march." The courtyard shifted. Even the wind seemed to pause for that single, sacred exchange. The general's expression softened, but only for a moment. Then he wheeled back toward the MPs, his voice sharp as a blade. "Remove those cuffs, now." The MPs scrambled. The cuffs clicked open. And then the general pointed straight at them. "You two will report to my office at 0600 tomorrow. We will discuss what real leadership is." The MPs paled. A small cheer started in the crowd, but the general raised a hand, silencing everyone. "This isn't over," he said, voice low. "There will be consequences for the right people." He turned to the old veteran, who was leaning on a paramedic's shoulder. The general approached him with surprising gentleness. "Sir, are you hurt?" He shook his head. "Just shaken. Not as fast as I used to be." The general nodded. "Then allow me to thank you for your service and for revealing something that needed to be seen today." The veteran's eyes glistened. And just as the tension seemed to fade, the general turned slowly back toward the guard. "Walk with me, soldier. We need to talk." The crowd watched in awe as the guard followed him toward the administration building, not as a prisoner, but as a man who had triggered a storm. Inside the administration building, the echo of the general's boots filled the hallway. The tomb guard followed closely, shoulders squared, posture perfect, but his stomach churned. When they reached the conference room, the general shut the door behind them with a heavy thud. "Sit," the general said. The guard obeyed, but the general didn't sit. He paced, slow, deliberate, thinking. Finally, he stopped. "Son, do you know how long I've served in this army?" "No, sir." "I've had 43 years, 4 wars, more deployments than I can count." He crossed his arms. "And in all that time, I have seen exactly 2 kinds of soldiers: those who follow orders blindly, and those who do the right thing even when it's the harder choice." The guard swallowed. "Which one, sir?" The general stared at him long and hard. "You are the second kind, the rare kind." The words stunned him, but the general wasn't finished. "I read your file. You've been on the tomb rotation for 11 months. Exemplary performance. 0 errors." He leaned forward. "Do you realize what would have happened if I hadn't walked in when I did?" "Yes, sir. I would have been relieved of duty." "Relieved?" The general scoffed. "No, son. You would have been discharged, possibly court-martialed." The guard's breath caught in his throat. He knew the risk, but hearing it spoken aloud hit like a hammer. "Sir, I couldn't let him fall alone." The general nodded slowly. "That veteran you helped, he's 92 years old, fought in Korea, lost half his unit on a hill most Americans never learned the name of." His voice softened. "And he told me something outside. He said you reminded him of the young men he once commanded, men who didn't hesitate to protect a brother." The guard blinked tears away. Then the general stepped closer, lowering his voice to a gravelly whisper. "Son, you didn't break the spirit of your duty. You honored it." A long silence hung between them. Finally, the general placed a hand on the guard's shoulder. "But there will still be paperwork and politics. Certain officers are furious, and they're not going to let this go." The guard nodded. "Understood, sir." "But," the general added, "I am." The guard frowned. "Sir?" The general smirked just a little. "You're coming with me to the next meeting. I'm about to stir up a hornet's nest in your defense." He opened the door. "Let's go show them what real leadership looks like." The general and the tomb guard walked together toward a large briefing room, its doors heavy, its windows frosted. Inside, voices were already raised. Tension crackled in the air like electricity. As they stepped inside, the room fell silent. Around the long, polished table sat a mix of high-ranking officers, administrative officials, and regulation zealots. the kind who clung to rulebooks like life rafts. Colonel Hargrove stood up abruptly. General, with respect, that soldier violated sacred protocol. The tomb guard's position is absolute. Leaving his post is an act of compassion, Colonel. He cut him off like a blade. He broke procedure, Hargrove barked. He disgraced the regiment. A murmur of agreement spread through the room. The tomb guard stood silent, hands behind his back, eyes fixed forward. Then the general stepped into the center of the room. No, what he did was uphold the highest value we have as soldiers, protecting our own. Hargrove slammed a binder onto the table. The rules are clear. And so is the reason behind them, the general snapped. The tomb guard stands watch for the fallen, for the ones who never came